guys, welcome back to Lifestyle of a Naturalista. Today we are making a refreshing drink, Tigernut milk. Tigernut is native to Asia and in parts of Africa, and we are going to be extracting the milk from the nuts in order to make delicious, refreshing Tigernut drink. Tigernut is made from tigernut seeds, which are gluten-free and plant-based, so it is naturally vegan and gluten-free. And the milk is made just from the tigernuts, though you can add things to flavor up the milk afterwards, or just use it as a milk for, whatever you use your dairy for normally. I'll be putting an add-in towards the end of the video into the drink, but that's completely optional. Alright guys, let's start making this Tigernut milk drink. We're going to start off with a cup of tiger nuts. I'm using dried tiger nuts, so I'm going to rehydrate them before extracting the milk from them using a cup of tiger nuts, and then I'm going to wash it with a bit of hot water to make sure that the seeds are clean. The nuts, they're actually nuts, not seeds. Are they seeds? I don't know. To make sure that the tiger nuts are clean, and then fill that up to make 2 cups of water as you see here, and then you can let that sit for hours or even overnight, but not too long so it doesn't start to ferment or anything funny. Then to the next step of the process, which is to extract the juice from the tiger nuts to make Tigernut milk. The milk, the juice. There are several ways in which you can do this. I'm trying to go with the easiest way, so I'm using a juicer, simply putting the tiger nuts in a juicer to extract the milk from them. If you do not have a juicer, you can use a blender, and then I'll show you towards the end of this video how you would extract the milk from blending the tiger nuts in water. But I feel like using a juicer is just a very simple way to do it, and that's why I am using that method in this video. But I will also show you the other method, like I said. Alright, and then tiger nuts are actually very nutritious. I was looking up their nutritional profile and I was quite surprised to see how nutritious these nuts are. I really need to check if they're nuts or seeds because I feel like I want to say both. They're not common because, like I said, they're native to, I believe, Asia and Africa. So if you're going to buy it in places that are not those two places, you may need to go to like a specialty African store or Asian store to find it. But it's really nice, and it also is like just any other non-dairy milk, right? Like almond milk or, whatever, coconut milk, it's similar to that in that it has no milk but has that really creamy, milky feel to it. It's also very delicious. It has a really nice taste on its own that I really like. And something else I should mention, you see as I'm extracting the milk and then the shaft is coming out, there's also actually a thing called tigernut flour. So people do dry the shaft and blend it to form flours that you can use for gluten-free baking, because this is a gluten-free seed nut. It's gluten-free, so you can actually use it in your baking for gluten-free baking. They actually sell that in stores. I've seen that in stores. Tigernut flour, so you can actually create your own 2-in-1 combo, get your milk and get your tigernut flour at the same time. I'm going to quickly check if tigernut is a nut or a flower so that we can just say the right thing. Okay, let's see if it's a nut or a seed. I mean, nut or seed. Tiger nuts are not nuts, beans, or seeds. Oh my goodness. Wow, it's not a nut, it's not a seed, it's not a bean. It's actually a tuber. It's a root vegetable. So I was even wrong calling it a nut or a seed. It's a root vegetable. Let's just call it tiger nut, okay? So I am done extracting the milk and I'm left with the shaft, right? Which you can also use to make flour after drying. But something I wanted to show you, like I said earlier on in this video, is the fact that you can actually just, if you don't have a juicer, you can still extract the milk from the tiger nut. So you would blend it in like water in a blender, and then you would use this process of using a cheesecloth to extract the juice from the blended shaft. I'm using it here because I want to make sure I get all the goodness from the tiger nut, all the juice, all the milk, and nothing goes to waste. That's why I'm doing this. It would also be helpful to do this if you're actually going to make flour from the tiger nut shaft, so that the tiger nut shaft is, free from all the milk and all the liquid, and when you dry it out, you're just drying out the shaft and not necessarily any milk mixed up in there. This was what I was able to get from that process, adding it onto the milk. It is so creamy and delicious. You know how when you have all these non-dairy milks, if you've tried non-dairy milks, it has like the plant has its own flavor in the milk, and I feel like that's what makes it really nice, is that natural flavor of the seed, the nut, the root vegetable that goes into the milk. So this is the shaft that you can actually use to make tiger nut flour if you're into that. Okay, and then we have our delicious creamy tiger nut milk. So I got this quantity of milk from 1 cup of the tiger nuts that I soaked to make 2 cups. So about 1 cup of tiger nut, 1 cup of water. And then this is another part that I said I would do towards the end, which is completely optional. The tiger nut milk on its own tastes great, but if you want to add a natural sweetener, you can do that, and that's what I'm doing. I'm going to chop up some dates and add that into the tiger nut milk and then blend it all up together just for a little sweeter taste if you have a bit of a sweeter tooth. But honestly, I feel like you don't need to do that. Like, it's good on its own, but if you have more of a sweeter palate, you could try this out. So that's what the rest of this video is going to be, is me blending up the dates into the tiger nut to make a slightly sweeter drink. And for that process, I'm using my NutriBullet, or you can use your blender. Whatever you have that can blend up stuff together will work. Putting the dates in the tiger nut milk, it actually made it a bit, I had to blend it a couple of times because I wanted a very just smooth, creamy milk. So I didn't want any like shaft or anything coming from the dates. So I blended it a couple of times just to make sure it was really smooth. But like I said, you can completely skip this step. Honestly, it has its own natural sweetness, that is the tiger nuts, and you really don't need to add dates. So I'm transferring it from container to container just to get it to all blend together, make it smooth, make sure there's no like chops of dates in the drink, though that's not a bad thing, but I just wanted a smooth tiger nut drink because I've had tiger nut drinks a lot and I'm used to just having that smooth tiger nut milk drink. So that's what I wanted. I wanted to recreate that. Because trust me, it wasn't easy getting these tiger nuts because I don't stay in an area where I can just easily get the tiger nuts root vegetables. So I just wanted to really recreate what I was used to, that smooth, creamy drink. But also, you could even put the dates in the juicer as you're juicing. I just felt like it would be a waste of dates because I would need to have a lot of dates for that sweetness to come through. So why not just put the dates at the end into the drink, and then all the dates would be in the drink as opposed to just the juice, quote unquote, of the dates going into the drink. And then finally, overflow of milky goodness. Yeah, finally, the tiger nut is ready. Gonna put it in a fancy cup, fancy glass, and enjoy. If you're able to find tiger nuts, this is a nice, easy drink to make. You do not have to put the dates. You can check maybe your African store, your Asian store. You may be able to find tiger nuts. But yes, I just wanted to show you something different, something nice, something vegan, something gluten-free to brighten up your day. If you're able to try this, please do let me know how you like it. Remember to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. Till the next one, guys. Take care. Bye.